Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to work on Surya Namaskar A. And Surya Namaskar A is a vinyasa. So we're linking mind, body, and breath. And then we're linking the breath to movement. So it's a good way to stimulate circulation on the body, to warm up the body before any major poses, peak poses, or advanced postures. And it links almost in a sense of a meditation once you really get into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach the first one with your blocks. And it's going to be a modified version for beginners. Then the second one, I'm going to teach you how to step back and then go through Surya Namaskar A, or the vinyasa. And then I'm going to teach how to jump back. And that's for more advanced practitioners or somebody who wants to learn how to jump back into chaturanga. So so we will get started. But before we get started, please click like below and please subscribe to my channel. And let's get started. All right, so we're going to start at the front of our mat. So you're going to want to have your two blocks at the front. So keep them right near you so you have access to them. Now, to start, and if you're a beginner, or if you have tight hamstrings or lower back problems, you're going to separate your feet hips distance apart. And with hips distance apart, it's not as wide as your hip like this, but your second toe should draw a direct line to the frontal hip bones. So these two little pointy things right here. So that is hips distance apart. This is not hips distance apart. This is hips distance apart. So we'll just clarify that in the beginning. All right, so you're going to place your feet hips distance apart. So again, if you have lower back problems or tight hamstrings, this is a good way to start. And then you're going to root down in the four corners of your feet. So what I want you to do is I want you to lift all 10 toes off the mat. And by doing that, you're lifting the inner and outer arches of the foot, which it gives you great balance. And then, one by one, place each toe on the mat, and you'll notice your toes spread. And that's going to give you the good foundation here. All right? So then from here, you're going to lift the kneecaps up. And what I mean by lift the kneecaps up, you're engaging the quads. And then you'll find that your pelvis may or may not be in a neutral position. So you'll have an anterior pelvic tilt, which is where your frontal hip bones are a little bit going, they're moving down, and then you have this massive arch in your lower back, and that's like an ouch right there. We don't want that. So what we want is we want to find a neutral pelvis. So placing your thumbs right on the lower back, or not on the lower back, by the top of the buttock, right? So you place the thumbs right there, and you'll notice that when you push the top of the buttock down, you're not pushing and jutting forward. We want to just have a gentle push down, just reminding you that you don't want this, this arch in your back. So you're lifting the frontal hip bones and releasing the top of the buttock down. And that will give you a neutral pelvis. So not this. See that? We don't want this. So lifting the frontal hip bones and then finding a neutral pelvis, a nice healthy pelvis. All right. And then you place the hands by your side, palms face the front of the room, lift through the chest, soften the lower ribs in. You're releasing the shoulders away from the ears and gazing gently forward, having a slight smile here. So you'll inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. I want you to parallel the arms, palms face each other to start. And then firm the outer arms in. Keep reaching the fingertips up to the sky. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching as you root through the feet and rebound through the crown of the head. Then exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. Now, if you're a beginner and you have tight hamstrings, have a generous bend in the knees. As you fold forward, release the crown of the head. Now, if you're unable to reach the mat in Uttanasana forward fold, you're more than welcome to use your blocks here. So you'll have that generous bend in your knees. Now, if you have a bend in the knees, you're going to root down in the four corners of your feet. Releasing the crown of the head. You can shake your head. Drawing the shoulders up and away from the ears. Lengthening the spine. So if you're rounding in your upper back and this is you want to bend the knees and lengthen the spine forward. And then release the crown of the head. Now you'll inhale halfway for Ardha Uttanasana. Again, you can use your blocks to create more space. You can also have your hands on the mat or gently on your shins. Okay, so if you don't have your blocks, you can always place your hands on your shins. But if you do have your blocks, place your hands where your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Draw the belly in and up. So we're not arching in the lower back like this. You're hugging the belly in, nice and flat. Reaching the crown of the head forward towards the front of the room. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Draw the belly in. Now I want you to take your arms like a T, palms face down, and you'll notice that I'm hugging the belly in with my back nice and flat. And then you're going to touch the side of the room and rise up with a flat back. Take the arms up towards the ceiling, firming the outer arms in. And then exhale, release the hands by your side. So we're kind of just warming up the body and doing a half sun salute. And then I'll get into the sun salutations. But we're just warming up the hamstrings before we start. All right. So we'll do it one more time with a half sun salute. So palms facing front of the room, root through your feet. Inhale your arms up to the sky, parallel the arms. And then exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold for Uttanasana. Again, if you need to use your blocks, and if you need to bend the knees, you can. Releasing the crown of the head. Inhale halfway for Ardha Uttanasana, lifting the belly in and up. Come up with a flat back, reaching the crown of the head forward. Then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, touch the side of the room, rise up with a flat back. Parallel the arms. Then exhale, release the hands by your side. All right, so now we're going to go into Surya Namaskar A, modified version. So again, we'll use the blocks. All right, find your Tadasana mountain pose. Lift the frontal hip bones up. Gaze forward. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky, parallel the arms. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold for Uttanasana. Releasing the crown of the head, shoulders lift up and away from the ears. Inhale halfway for Ardha Uttanasana. Lift the belly in and up. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands next to your feet. And you'll step back into plank pose. Shoulders in line with the wrists. Place both knees on the mat for modified plank. Now draw the belly in. Release the top of the buttock down towards the heels. Reach the chest forward. Gaze about a foot forward to lengthen the back of the neck. And then exhale, bend your elbows slowly with control. Go down halfway. So you're hugging the outer arms in to the midline. So your elbows are not splaying up. You're hugging them in. Elbows point back. Chest hits, hips hit. And then from here, I'm just going to move the blocks out to the side. Now from here, we're going into low cobra. So you're placing the hands by your lower ribs. Press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Then you're going to lift the kneecaps up, so you're firming the legs. Now as your forehead rests on the ground, you're drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Then inhale, coil your chest off the mat for low cobra, and hold here for low cobra. So you're hugging the outer arms in and the elbows point back. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears, crown of the head reaches towards the front of the room as you gaze down at your mat. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes. Inhale here. And then press into tabletop position in 1 minute. So you're using your core. Then with that exhale, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now you're rooting down in the circumference of your hand, lifting the forearms off the mat and firming the outer arms in so the biceps roll forward, triceps firm in. Now if you see your heels, hide them behind your ankles. As you press both thigh bones back to release the heels down, lengthen your side waists and gaze between the heels or between the feet. Now, if you're rounding in your upper back in downward facing dog and you're unable to straighten your legs, then I want you to come up on your tiptoes and bend your knees. And when you bend your knees, you're able to lengthen the spine by pressing into the hands, lifting your hips up and back. So this might be you as a beginner. And if you're more advanced, your heels will be moving towards the mat. Now, from your downward facing dog, wherever you're at in your practice, you will come up onto the tiptoes of your feet. Exhale here, and at the end of your exhale, you will step your feet forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. Separating your feet, hips distance apart, releasing the crown of the head down. Inhale halfway for Ardha Uttanasana, placing your hands on the shins or on the blocks, reaching the chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, touch the side of the room, rise up with a flat back, parallel the arms, and then exhale, release the hands by your side. Now, we're going to do Surya Namaskar A without the props. So you'll just move the blocks off to the side. But if you'd like to work on your Surya Namaskar with your props and modify them, you're more than welcome to. Now from here, find your Tadasana Mountain Pose. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky, parallel the arms. Now, hold here in Utthita Hastasana and Tadasana. Now I want you to root through the feet and rebound to the crown of the head. Keep reaching the fingertips up to the sky, palms face each other. Now as you lift through the back ribs, keep reaching your fingertips until your palms touch. Now you'll notice that my head leans back naturally. We're not forcing the head back. Then exhale, hinging from the hips forward, fold for Uttanasana. Now I'm just going to teach this here. Now if you're working towards your Uttanasana with straight legs, you're going to straighten your legs and shift your weight a little bit towards the balls of the feet as you release the crown of the head. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, lifting the belly in and up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands down, step back into plank pose. Hold plank. Shoulders in line with the wrists. Draw the belly in. Reach the chest forward. Thigh bones are pressing up towards the ceiling, so you're really working the quads. Now we are going into Chaturanga, or Chaturanga, or however you'd like to say it. And then from here, you're going to inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the elbows, and then shift your weight forward halfway. Now from here, your arms are going to be in a 90-degree angle or about, and you're really firming the thighs, firming the belly, and then you're going to inhale, flip the toes, straighten the elbows for upward facing dog. Hold upward facing dog. Thighs and hips should be off the mat unless you're modifying. Now you're pressing the shoulder blades into the chest, broadening through the collarbones. And then exhale, lifting your hips up and back for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Your feet are hips distance apart. Your hands are shoulder distance apart. Now your inner thighs are rolling back and your biceps are rolling forward. Finding even length in your side waist. Take 2 more breaths here. Long, deep inhalations, long, deep exhalations. Now come up on your tiptoes, bend your knees, gaze between the hands, and step your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, lifting the belly in and up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, releasing the crown of the head. Inhale, touch the side of the room, rise up like the rising sun. Palms may touch, head leans back. And then exhale, release the hands down by your side. All right, so we are going to go into the classic version of Surya Namaskar A, which is by breath and a jump back. So the other 2 were more modified versions. Some of you can work on towards doing the more advanced vinyasa. So for this one, we're going to bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart. You're going to spread the toes, root down through all 4 corners of your feet. Find the foundation. And then lift the kneecaps up, firm the thighs. Lift the frontal hip bones up and release the top of the buttock down. Find a neutral pelvis. Palms face the front of the room. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Palms may touch. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold like you're diving over for Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, lift the chest for Ardha Uttanasana. Hands will be on the ground, or the hands will be right by your feet. So from here, you're going to exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands next to the feet. So right here, you're rooting your hands down firmly. You're protracting the shoulder blades here. Gaze, foot in front of you, and then you're going to step or jump your feet. And then you're going to be in a bent arm for Chaturanga. Never jump back into a straight arm. Always have them bent. Then inhale, flip the toes, straighten the elbows for upward facing dog. Thighs and hips should be off the mat as you puff the chest, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And then lift your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 3 breaths here for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Long, deep inhalations. Long, deep exhalations. Now you come up on your tiptoes. At the end of your exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. And from here, this is where you're going to hop forward. So you're just going to hop the foot or feet together to the front of the mat. So it took me a while to do, but you'll get the hang of it. So then you'll inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Release the crown of the head. Inhale, touch the side of the room, rise up with a flat back, palms may touch. Exhale, hands by your side. All right, so those were the 3 ways that you can do your Surya Namaskar A, from the modified version to the step back, then to the jump back. So now we're just going to do it by breath. So find your Tadasana here. Root through the feet. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Palms may touch. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold for Uttanasana. Shifting your weight to the balls of the feet. Inhale, halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Belly draws in. Exhale, bend the knees, put your hands down. And jump your feet back into Chaturanga, bent arms. Inhale, flip the toes, straighten the elbows. Upward facing dog. Exhale, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a couple breaths here. as you warm up the body. Get some good circulation, build some arm strength, some core, stretch up the entire body. All right. Come up on your tiptoes at the end of your exhale. Step or jump your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, touch the side of the room, rise up like the rising sun. Palms they touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, so that was it. That was Surya Namaskar A broken down, and hopefully this helps you guys out. All right, my friends, so that was it. That was Surya Namaskar A broken down and then brought into a quick breath and movement sequence. So hopefully you guys like the video. If you guys like below, please click like below. I may have said that a little bit wrong, but it's okay. You guys get it. But we will see you next week. Bye, everyone. Namaste.